don't want to go flat, because here's your flat gutter guard, here's your shingles, and as the debris comes down off the shingles, this is the debris, and rests there, it sits up against your fascia board. And as it piles up there, water leaches back and it starts to rot the fascia, and it will rot the subroot. Yeah, that'll take 2 or 3 years. That's why you don't want to do a flat gutter cover. That's the biggest downfall of the flat. Plus, they clog much more readily. You know, they're where it, unless gravity and everything is going to force mold and dirt and thing down through that microscreen, it's going to clog much quicker than when you go on the angle. What are the good points of flat? It installs easier, and marketing-wise, it's selling. It's just selling. If you use a flat product like leaf relief, it can actually strengthen the gutter from front to back, and so that's a plus.
Just use a better hanger.
Yeah. And people are wishful buyers, hopeful buyers. Me too. You want to be sold, and you want to believe what you're being sold, and you hope it works, and you want to believe in it. When you have a flat gutter guard, when you have debris on an angle, here's our angled gutter guard. Water, we'll start with the foundation. Water is molecularly more heavy per square centimeter than leaves or other debris. It's heavier. So just like in a glass of water, if you put liquids in the water, the heaviest liquid will fall to the bottom and sit there. The lighter liquids, it's almost like that little sand stuff you build with colored sand.
Yep.
Liquid does the same thing by its own weight. Lighter liquid sits on top of lighter liquid. And
oil and vinegar. If you just...
Oil and vinegar. Now if you have a gutter guard like us, or the ones that go under the shingles, the debris, if it sits on them at an angle, the point of contact, you get a little bit of splash, and the rain that's hitting, if you've got Mastershield that temporarily is covered with oak tassels or pine needles or oak leaves, the tiny amount of rain that's falling vertically from the sky is not getting through our product. It is hitting that debris and bouncing off. But the huge majority of water that's coming down the roof is heavier than the debris, and it's hitting beneath the debris, and it flows under it. As much as a ½ inch up the debris, it can filter down through it, and it makes it to the gutter guard and goes in. If you take that debris and go flat, and that's why Robert says that you've got to keep his thing clean all the time, because he's probably observed that when the scum builds up on his product so bad, like it did at Tim Carter's house, the water just hits it, it's got nowhere to go. Well, it's got 2 places to go. It can go back and rot your fascia board and drop down behind your gutter, or it can spill over the front of your gutter. But if you've got a mat of debris there on a flat product, where's the water going to go? It's going to go forward or backward. Very little of it's going to filter through that debris and get into your gutter. And that's why Robert and other people with gutter guards like that are like your mom's sponge. Water wasn't getting in your mom's gutter. It couldn't. It was like all of that debris and pollen had made a cement coating on top. That's what happens to flat gutter guards. That does not happen to an angled gutter guard. The greater the angle, the less likely it is to happen. Water flows under the debris on a gutter guard. Even if we've got 6 inches of debris on top of Mastershield, all of the water coming off the roof is going under that debris, cleaning the screen underneath and dropping down inside. You go flat, everything's clogged. If water was the same weight as the debris, it might hit it. It might form a bridge and come over the top of it. But because of the water's heavier, and because of water adhesion, it's already clinging to the roof. It wants to follow that path it's already formed. So it's just going to come right underneath the debris. You'll see it. You'll just see it in action.
And it doesn't happen on flat because the flat hits it at the. It's all about the angle of the roof to the gutter guard.
Yeah. Here's my debris, and it's crumbled like this, but it's at an angle. The water that's hitting it like this is bouncing off, but the water that hits it at this point, it's coming underneath it like this. The water does not hit the dam and climb up over it and then go down. There's so little resistance here because organic debris is so light, the water just goes through it like a sponge. Shoot, I'm going right on through, I'm going right on through. Because the debris facing the water is very, very porous and very lightweight. The water's just going, oh, I'm going to do this. Or in some cases, you'll see the water actually push the debris off because there's not as much gravity at work here, and the water's got a lifting point. It can get under the debris, and you'll see it do this. How can water coming down like this, it can't get under the debris. It's hitting the very top of the debris. It's going to fall off to the right and hit the fascia board, or it's going to fall off and flow off to the left. It's not going to penetrate any amount of debris and get down through it. It just won't. Picture an oak leaf, Karen. An oak leaf is a solid surface on top. But on the edges of it, is it solid? No, it's jagged. It lifts up off the shingle. Water's got a lot of points of entry. When debris is on an angled gutter guard, there's a lot of points of entry where the debris meets the roof. When the debris is piled so high on a gutter guard that the debris is touching the edge of the subroof, yes. You know, you've just got a soggy, wet sponge that's constantly touching. Debris this thick, which can happen on top of a gutter guard, that doesn't dry out anytime soon.
No, I know, because we've had that. Like, you get when
4 days later, been sunny days, but the bottom of that debris and the back of it is still damp and wet. And especially, you know, if we take this cloth and hang it in the air, or hang it over Mastershield that's angled, there's a lot more air that can get under it. But when you've got it flat, sitting flat, and more debris on top, it's much harder to dry out.